Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Monday, October 6th. Celtics training camp is fully underway, and the preseason starts tomorrow as you're listening to this. Finally, Celtics basketball will be back on your screens. We'll get to see what the Celtics are going to roll out in their first preseason game against the Memphis Grizzlies. So make sure to, check it out. How you doing, Sam?
Doing good. I mean, that is music to my ears. We were just kind of talking about, we've reached a point with training camp where we've got some tidbits from today's practice and everything, but really all that's left now is to see the team actually play, which finally this week we get to do. But Jack was at practice today. He'll go through what the players and Joe talked about. Al Horford made his Warriors debut yesterday, so we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll go through your emails. We'll go around the NBA. I think we only have, just the Ja thing, and then we'll do the rat list and get out of here. Might be a little bit of a shorter show today, depending on how long this all takes. But nonetheless, we are here for you every single day, so subscribe to the channel. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, game recaps morning after each game. First one coming Thursday, even though technically it's a full pod. But we're almost there. Subscribe here every day. But no further ado, Monday practice was a long one, Jack.
Yeah, so originally we were scheduled to get there for post-practice, which is 12:15. Practice starts at 11. But the morning of Monday practice, they rescheduled it so we wouldn't get there till 2. So practice ran seemingly 2 hours-ish longer than it otherwise would have, or it has been throughout the past week, which seems to be a ramp-up, or whatever you want to call it, for the preseason game. Jaylen Brown echoed Sam Cassell's statements saying this was the hardest training camp he's been a part of. Obviously, we know Peyton Pritchard came to his scrum with a scrape on his neck the other day, said it's been a war. Jaylen Brown doubled down on that on his Twitch stream, saying, training camp has been a war so far. And so I think the Celtics are just really ramping up the intensity this year in terms of physicality on defense, in terms of even mental stuff, not just like the actual physicality, but like the intensity with which they're studying the details, the intensity with which they're learning everything, because they kind of have to, because it's not like last year where everyone is back and, sort of just doubling down on things. It is, we are teaching new guys very new things. And I mean, from the sound of it, from everything we've heard, they're really focusing on, the energy in practice.
They are putting, I think I just say this every time, I'm sorry. They're putting a fun team together. Like that is what all of the messaging we're hearing from the players and the coaching staff is sure, this team doesn't have the talent they've had the last couple of years, but they're going to play hard. And to be honest with you, that shouldn't come as a surprise. Under Joe Mazzulla, feels like the kind of thing that he wants all of his teams to have the identity of, even though, over the last couple of seasons, their identity has been math and just winning the numbers game and all of that. But he seems like a great coach to put together a team that's just going to outgrit the other teams. And this will be the first year we really get to see him attack that. Even his first interim season, I don't really feel like he had as much say in what they were doing. Or he just kind of inherited the team and they kind of had to go and try and compete for a title. Now you hear all these stories about, he's rewarding the team when they win whatever drill they're doing with extra running that they have to do. He's running these extra long practices the most, or the closest to the preseason opener. Like, Mazzulla's not playing any games this year. We've heard the players talk about it. And I'm really excited for Wednesday just to see what we're all in store for. Because even though it's not the end-all be-all, preseason does tell you a little bit about what your team is going to look like, what the style of play is going to look like as the season goes on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the only question mark, or not even question mark, but like hesitancy I have to this whole narrative, this is the toughest it's been, is Joe Mazzulla in his typical Joe Mazzulla fashion, just kind of shit all over that sentiment when he was in the scrum. He was asked about it, and he's like, well, yeah, everything's the most important, right? I think this is just the most hindsight or recency bias thing, I should say, not hindsight, recency bias thing I've ever heard, referring to Sam Cassell's statement. This is before Jaylen said it, like, and I do think there is some truth to that, because realistically, right, like every year is going to feel that way because the present time is the most important, right? Like comparing it to 3 years prior, who fucking cares? Like that doesn't matter anymore. Like you lost last year, you won a title the year before that, you got a limit. Like that doesn't matter anymore. Like everything is focused on the present, and I think recency bias gets, thrown into a lot of things when you're talking about intensity and energy and how tough it feels because you're living in the moment of holy fuck, this sucks, my body hurts. So I do think there's an element of that. But at the same time, like, you have to think of what you talked about, what I talked about. Josh Minot's never been to Celtics camp. He's talked about it at length before, about how he's learning new things, about how it's being intense, about how he's trying to make his impact as a defender, how he's going to fit in on offense. Jaylen Brown today talked about learning the timing of everything because for years they've played with Al Horford, who they knew when he was going to pop. Jason Tatum learned how to throw the perfect behind the back pass to Al Horford because he knew where he liked to stand, where he was going to pop out to the 3-point line. Like, that is a learned trait. That is because he played with Al Horford for so many years, right? You don't know what Chris Boucher is going to like to do. You don't know if he's going to go to the top of the key or the wing or the corner. You don't know where Anthony Simons likes the ball. Does he like it in the shooting pockets? Does he like it lower so he can drive? Like, there are so many things that the Celtics need to learn. And so I think when you have all of those things, setting the baseline of we are going to just bust our ass, go 100%, 100 miles an hour every single day, is just a good like baseline to work with when you have so many new moving parts.
It's true. I mean, I guess that is the baseline. You want to establish as a team, we all agree we are going to try. Like that is a good sentiment to carry with you as you head into the season. And, thankfully it sounds like everybody's committed. Like, Anthony Simons has been such a huge talking point all summer long. We keep going back and forth. Is he going to be able to defend enough to be in the rotation, or, is he going to earn his minutes that way? Is he just going to get traded because they don't believe in him as a defender? They weren't able to trade him, and everything we've heard is that he is willing to buy in, which should not be surprising. Like, you're going to be there. It's probably your best opportunity to compete since 2021 if you're Anthony Simons. So committing to the defensive mindset and committing to improving and working with the coaching staff to do so is going to be a big part of you earning your keep within the Celtics rotation. And, I'm personally eager to see how much he's able to improve with what they're doing with him. Because if that's the case, like, say, this defensive emphasis and the give 100% mindset really rubs off on him. Granted, might be a little bit of bad timing with him in a contract year. If it works out, you might not get to reap all of the rewards if he decides to sign elsewhere for more money. But it could really maximize your return on Drew Holiday, at least for the season. Like, where we have sat down and wondered if it was like just complete salary dump type stuff happening. Yeah, I just am so intrigued to see how it affects Simons and the rest of the team as they look to surprise people this year.
Apologies, I cut out there. So sorry if you said the same exact thing. I heard a bit about Simon, but I also think the important part of everything going on is not only is it like specifically for Simons, this chance to prove himself, this chance to see if he's a long-term fit, but like the Celtics, as much as this year is important, and I do think they're going to try to win, and I do think they're going to be a lot better than people expect. This is also a point in time to test out what could work when Jason Tatum comes back. Is Josh Minott a good role player fit in terms of his cutting, in terms of his defense? Can Luka Garza step in and play an actual rotation role? Is Neemias Queta a legitimate starter or backup option that the Celtics should roll with moving forward? Because like these guys aren't on long-term deals. Luka Garza and Josh Minott, I think, are both on 2-year deals, but that doesn't mean that they have to be on the team past this year. Is Xavier Tillman back from his injury and able to give you anything? Do the Celtics need to work on an Neemias Queta extension? Should they let Jordan Walsh walk after the season? Is Baylor Shireman a legitimate piece that could work in a Jason Tatum-led Celtics rotations? Like, this is almost like a tryout year for a lot of these guys, and training camp is just their first chance to show off what they could possibly do. And so I'm very much looking forward to the preseason. And honestly, the game I'm looking forward to the most, and I mean, this sounds obvious, but opening night is going to tell you a lot about what Joe Mazzulla sees as the baseline for this rotation. Because you think back to last year, and Xavier Tillman got a lot of minutes on opening night against the Knicks. O'Shea Brissett got a ton of minutes on opening night 2 years ago, right? Like, there are going to be guys inevitably who play in the first game that maybe fall out of the rotation, but it will at least give you an idea of Joe Mazzulla's mindset of these are the guys I think can help us win the most right now. And then you'll just have to go on from there and see what happens. But
yeah, you got an ad?
Yes, I do. PrizePicks, best place to get real money sports action. Make sure to check it out. PrizePicks is the best. We use it every single pregame show, which will be back very, very soon. So make sure to tune on in and check out the PrizePicks. Sam and I like to take things such as the more on Jaylen Brown points, which I'm sure is going to be a staple for us this year, or the more on Derek White blocks. But during football season, the Pats played last night. They'll be back in action on Sunday again. Drake May looks like the real deal. So I've been a fan of the Drake May passing yards, the more on those. And also the defense looks pretty good too. So make sure to check that out on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, which means you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. And so if you want to pick the more on stuff like, Drake May passing attempts, Drake May passing yards, and Drake May touchdowns, you can take it on PrizePicks all in the same lineup. And that's, again, only on PrizePicks that you can do that. So make sure to check it out. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Next thing, Al Horford, former Celtic, legend Celtic, made his Warriors debut in the preseason. And he just looks like he's going to be great. And I think any of us could have told you that when all the rumors came out. You put arguably the best big man they've ever had, the best center they've ever had with that Draymond Steph duo outside of maybe prime Andrew Bogut 10 years ago. It's probably going to be a good thing for the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great fit. Just he can do everything. Honestly, like Greeny tweeted it today and couldn't be more on the nose. The process Sixers were like the only team ever that you could put him on and it wouldn't work. Like they somehow managed to mess up Al Horford and then blame Al Horford on the way out.
Shock.
So, I mean, him being a part of this Warriors team is going to make them really interesting. Health is a big question mark with them since like everybody on the team is old and whatnot. But personally, like that'll be a team I'll be rooting for this year. Like I think he's just an awesome dude. Really good basketball player, like in terms of the way he plays the game is kind of right, plays good defense, is willing to be a good teammate. Like everybody here that's talked about Al Horford has had nothing but good things to say about him. So, this is a fun opportunity for all of us to kind of follow the Warriors a little bit and vicariously live through them. Like Horford playing next to Steph, we can all like appreciate it and be like, that's our West team. We can claim them if we want.
I feel like some Celtics fans still hate the Warriors.
Left. Yeah, I don't get that. I get it, but I don't get it. Like they played they played the finals against each other. Definitely was a brutal series. Celtics won the finals 2 years ago. And I'm like the ultimate spike guy. But they won the finals 2 years ago. And beyond that, like they've never, ever had any history. That's the only time they've ever really met each other in the playoffs. They usually only play twice a year. So yeah, Golden State's been really good for a while. Maybe you didn't like that they got Kevin Durant in the late 2010s, but kept LeBron from winning. So respect.
Listen, man, I want Al to win. I like Steph Curry. I like Draymond. I don't have any problem with him. I know some people like really hate Draymond. I think he's fine. He's cool. It doesn't matter.
I love Draymond. I love him.
I really like this Warriors team. I love Jimmy. Jimmy's awesome. Like I know obviously the Celtics fans have their beef with him too, but I think he rocks. Like, but listen, like Jimmy, like all those videos of him on the plane being like, Boston, I'm coming. If that was Jason Tatum doing that to the Heat, Celtics fans would be losing their fucking minds. Like let's not act like.
Well, also like,
but yeah,
he's doing a good job of like leaning into being the villain. I actually like respect when guys do that. Like when you do it like directly and you come out and do it instead of like kind of dancing around it and being petty. Like when Kyrie was like at the heat of it with the Celtics, it was awesome because he bought into it. He was like, I'm gonna flip the bird at the crowd. I'm gonna get all mad, but like. Before he bought into it, it was more annoying because he just would try and like snipe at the fans in press conferences, but wouldn't really try and address it and act like he was taking the high road. Like Jimmy just being like, can't wait to play against this team because I hate him. Like, yeah, respect. Like fans hate you too.
Do you think Horford, what is playing on my phone right now? I just heard it through my headphones, a Twitter video popped up. Do you think Horford is the best center the Warriors have had in the Curry era? I think as wild as that sounds,
like current state too, like current state of him.
Obviously acknowledging the fact, yes, and obviously acknowledging the fact that Draymond plays center, but like discounting him because I do think they're probably at their best when there's an actual center on the floor. But maybe that also could be wrong. They're probably best with the small ball lineup. But outside of Draymond, do you think he's the best center? I think Andrew Bogut probably was better in his prime, but
it's hard to say because the games were also different. Like I was talking to people yesterday actually about, they were talking about the Miami Heat with LeBron and all them. And like they were saying, that team succeeded without having shooters. Like, yeah, it was also like 12 years ago. The game was so different. If you go and you watch a game, even if you watch a game from like when the Warriors first started playing, Andrew Bogut's role is different than anything Al Horford is going to play. Like, it's almost like there's a big split, like 2017, 2018, around that time, maybe even a little later. Maybe it's the bubble where you just feel like basketball is a different game. There aren't really a lot of roles for guys who aren't as versatile, but Horford's super versatile. Even at 39, he can defend at a high level, shoots threes at a high level. I think he's just going to be a really fun fit there and is going to do what it's, required of him to win basketball games.
Since Andrew Bogut, and I'm going to discount the injured season where they got James Wiseman, starting centers for the Warriors, Bogut was one, and he was probably better than Horford is in his current state. He was an all-defensive second team, 6th in Defensive Player of the Year in 2015. He only averaged 6 and 8, which Horford could do, but he averaged 1.7 blocks a game in 24 minutes. Like, he was an elite defender. Outside of that, you had Zaza Pachulia, started for 2 years as the full-time, pretty much, starting center for the Warriors. Didn't play starter minutes, but started bulk of the games. Boogie Cousins, Kevon Looney, and Damian Jones split starting roles 1 year. James Wiseman and Kevon Looney did a lot of the starts, the next year with a lot of Draymond Green as well in there, obviously. But I said we're discounting him. After that, you had Kevon Looney again. 2023 season, you had Kevon Looney again getting the bulk of the starts. 2 years ago, you had Trace Jackson Davis and Kevon Looney starting a lot with a decent chunk of Draymond Green at the 5 minutes. And then last year, you had Draymond Green started 66 games. Trace Jackson Davis started 37, and Quentin Post started 14. Al Horford might be damn close to the best starting center they've had with this Steph Curry team.
Yeah, they just haven't really needed it. I mean, setting good screens is really the only thing that can you imagine Cornette out there if they got him?
That would have been a damn good screener too.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. But like, Cornette is so good at setting screens that he got paid 4 years, $41 million to do that, among other things. But like, more than anybody, like, you wrote about it, you talked to him about it, you did the TikTok with him. Like, him setting screens is the thing that really enabled him to be a great spacer for the Celtics. And if he was doing that next to Curry, or like just off ball stuff that he would be doing, would be crazy for the Warriors. But yeah, just to finally answer your question, I think Horford is probably the best, if not second best, behind Bogut. And I'm really excited to see how it works. Yeah. Bogut was so long ago. Like, that's my point. Like, the game was a different game. They were doing different things. It's nuts. Now to fully embrace that, the spacing will probably be the best it's ever been. It's just funny that, like, I don't think they've ever had a center that really leans into shooting threes.
Never. Quentin Post was close to one, and that was half the season last year. He's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be nuts. And I saw something. If they start Buddy Hield, which I don't think they should. I think they should start Podziemski. If they start Buddy Hield, their starting lineup will have an average age of like 36, which is crazy. That's an insane average.
I do want to make a point, going back to the Celtics. I completely forgot to talk about this before we went to the ad, is if you're a GM, I guess we can kind of put this in a little bit with any team. The Celtics, we talked about like a lot of prove it guys. Like, it's like a tryout. If you're a GM, do you just start signing guys or like trading for guys who are on contract years? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, when you go through certain basketball reference pages of guys and their contract years are just significantly different in terms of production compared to the years after they've been paid, it's crazy. I'm trying to think of who like the number one example of that is, because I remember specifically seeing like here's the layout. You can guess which one was the contract year for someone.
Yeah. I mean, then the dangerous part is you're probably not getting that guy back. He's gone after that year. Marcus Morris.
Small market strategy.
I would need to see it. I bet Marcus Morris had some contract years where
I bet you he did too. That's a good point. Marcus Morris is the man, low key.
I liked Marcus Morris. He was the ultimate black hole. If you give the ball to him, you're not getting it back. It is going to be a shot, but it's pretty good some years.
He's the
I
dude
got to
you
look at his
pass to him,
contract
pick up, and
history.
you just crash immediately.
Yeah, and then you just go get the rebounds. Okay, let me see. The last time Marcus Morris got a contract, like a long-term contract, I'm trying to see. I guess I can just go to his basketball reference page, right? And it'll tell me like, oh, he signed this deal then.
They tell you the transactions, yeah.
Hmm.
So I'll do spot
So
track if
he
you want, while you
signed.
look at the
No,
years.
it didn't work there. So he
Okay.
signed a multi-year deal with the Clippers in 2020. So that means the 2019-20 season would have been a contract year for him. That season, he averaged 17 points, 5 rebounds on 44-41 splits. Pretty good. He was also really good for them that year in LA. He played 57 games, shot 47% from 3. But yeah, and it kind of dipped off a little bit. But that was a pretty good one. You can definitely
cool
tell that
Celtic
was the
for a little
contract
bit.
year. He did also get traded mid-season that year, and then got his new contract with LA. But he was pretty damn good. And yeah, that was the year he signed with New York after like ditching the Spurs. And in New
Yep.
York for the first half of that season, 43 games, he averaged 20. He averaged 19.6 on 44% from 3.
It's hilarious.
So there you go. All right, emails. Reminders always, you guys can email us at hptcpod@gmail.com. That's hptcpod@gmail.com. We have 2 today. First one we've got from Jax. What are you guys' top 3 teams of all time in the NBA? So I saw this. Is this like this year, this team, or can this just be iteration of team? I feel like that's easier.
Oh, you mean like a prolonged era?
Like the 90s Bulls.
Okay,
Does that count as
sure.
one? I feel like that's a lot easier because then the top 3 teams of all time are probably the 94 Bulls, the 95 Bulls. Then you know what I'm saying? Then we're just repeating ourselves. Like
You picked the 2 years that Jordan wasn't there to use
well,
as
whatever.
the
In
example.
the middle of the 90s. I don't fucking care. But you get the point. Like I'm not gonna just pick 4 Bulls teams.
Yeah. I think this is a really bad question to answer as a 26-year-old guy who hasn't seen a lot of these teams. But what I can tell you, that's an interesting update from Michael Scott. Did you just get that?
Nikola Topic had a testicular procedure today. We reevaluated in 4 to 6. Bro, that's so fucking brutal. It just
HIPAA.
back-to-back years of not being able to play. That sucks. Anyways, I think 90s Bulls and 2010s Warriors are automatically in there. At least
The
for
Russell
me.
Celtics deserve credit just because they always
Then maybe
won.
that's 3. Maybe that's 3. Yeah. I guess it just depends on what you're looking at, right? Because like in terms of accomplishments, it's probably those 3 teams. In terms of like overall talent, listen, I respect everything Bill Russell and those guys did. Both of the Warriors and Bulls would probably walk them in 4 games, 20-point blowouts, like realistically, just because of how talent has evolved over the years. But in terms of accomplishments and everything, it is probably just the Russell Celtics, the Jordan Bulls, and the 2010 Warriors.
There's also like a case for Magic and the Lakers because they won 5 championships while he was there. Like the Warriors have only gotten 4 with Steph, and not to say the Warriors haven't been very good for a long time, but like they had like a
Magic's got a case
supernova peak
for sure. No, the Lakers of the Magic era have a real case. I mean, the Duncan Spurs have also
that's a good one
over
too.
that many years. Yeah, I think those Lakers, the Magic Lakers, are probably in there. Who do you put them over, right? Like, I mean, the Warriors are probably the best basketball team ever assembled, right?
Yeah.
And so, but the Magic Lakers won 5 rings to 4 rings. The Jordan and Pippen undefeated in the finals, 6 rings. So, I don't know. Some assortment of those is probably where the real answer is, but I think those are good. RJ asks, the last time Al left, morning folks, quote, the more things change, the more they say the same. Is that how the saying goes? Which is to say the Celtics have learned to move on from Al Horford before, even multiple departures, move on and improve. Going into the 1920 season, Al had signed with Philly, and the C's swapped out Irving and Rozier for Kemba. Gordon Hayward is trying to recover from his horrible foot injury, and Boston center rotation was built on the shoulders of Daniel Tice, Ennis Freedom, Robert Williams, Vincent Poirier, and the inimitable Taco Fall and put their minutes in the parentheses. Other Celtics bench contributors were Brad Wanamaker, Grant Williams, Semi Ojeleye, Romeo Langford, and Carson Edwards. Even with Tatum Brown and Marcus Smart, it was a team built more to throw fear into the hearts of fans rather than the opposition. That squad finished with a higher winning percentage than the previous year's team, and at a full and if it had played a full 82 games, thanks COVID, they would have finished 5 games better than they had in 18-19. My point: let's not write off this year's Celtics so quickly. Be well, RJ, who reminds people that history can be recent too. I think that is a good point. I also think the Celtics almost benefited from certain personalities being out of the locker room, and that's the opposite this year. Kyrie, Terry, maybe even Marcus Morris. They had guys who very clearly had individual motives in mind, and that was not the case with the 24-25 Celtics. So I do think there is some truth to this, and I have said it over and over again. I think this year's Celtics are going to be a lot better than people expect, but I don't know if this is an exact 1-to-1.
Yeah, and it really is going to depend a lot on internal development. Like, I saw Bobby Manning talking to somebody on Twitter not yesterday maybe, but over the weekend, and he was talking about Nemi versus Daniel Tice on this team that went to the conference finals, and it was like a legitimate thing, and it was like, oh, this is kind of similar. Like, Tice wasn't asked to do much the year prior and didn't get a lot of playing time. Then he did really well when his number was called. Like, if that's the case with Nemi, it definitely raises the ceiling for the Celtics team. The East isn't very good. Like, sure, could there still be a pathway for them to make some sort of push for the playoffs / win a playoff series or two? Maybe. 2 might be a little bit of a stretch depending on who they play. But if Tatum ends up coming back, I don't know. I don't really know how to even talk about that part of the season yet, because we don't even know what the team will look like. Will Simon still be on the team?
No idea.
But yeah. I agree with RJ to an extent where, like, Anthony Simons joining the team is not nothing. Like, it almost feels like patching the leak in the way that they did with Kemba, where everything seemed to be going wrong, but Kemba joining the team was cool, even though, like, it wasn't a 1-to-1 replacement. It still felt like it could help. And we're just going to have to wait and see with this, though. It's an interesting storyline to watch, I think, for sure.
Definitely. No, I'm very excited. Thank you for the emails. Again, emails with any questions or anything. NBA section, Ja Morant sprained his ankle. And the Grizzlies are running into the same problem they've run into for the past 5 years. They can never be healthy. Them and the Pelicans handshake, never going to do anything because they can never stay on the court. I think Jaren Jackson is also dealing with some issues. I don't think Zach Edey's going to be on the court. Brandon Clark still got injury problems. It's a damn shame because I do think they're a talented team, but not in this injury state.
Yeah, I mean, this might be who Ja is now. It feels like every single season he's missing significant time, whether it's through suspension or injury. Like, when you are a player of his skill set and his just overall makeup, like, he's not a big dude and he can jump super high. And it's the thing he probably does most notably, not to say he's not a good point guard, but you're putting a lot of stress on your body. Like, it's the same with Zion. Zion comes into the draft. He's this athletic freak that dunks over everybody and is super strong. Well, when he's dunking over everybody, he's going to get injured. When he's jumping consistently, granted, like, an ankle sprain is an ankle sprain, man. It's not like damn, this is the season. And honestly, if you're going to pick a time for an ankle sprain, pick this. I would absolutely pick this to be the time. Miss some of the preseason, maybe miss opening week. We'll go from there and then get healthy as the season goes on. But you do make a good point where if you're Memphis, it's just like, how many years of this are we going to do? Granted, this season is a weird year in Memphis where they're in their own version of a gap year and probably won't be very good. So, who knows if they end up leaning into a tank.
Yeah, it's impossible to know. I mean, it's sort of like the Celtics in the sense that you just are going to feel it out and go from there. It feels like the Grizzlies already know a little bit of, like, all right, this probably isn't going to work because they already traded Desmond Bane. Like, they already got rid of one of the pieces of their new core.
Right.
For picks and KCP and waived Cole Anthony. So I don't know, man. It's brutal. I have no problem with the Grizzlies. I would like them to succeed. It's tough. They're just not healthy ever. All right. Ratless, Sam, what you got?
Rat list is the Patriots. I'm like one of the few people in this region that's fucking pissed that they won last night. I'm pissed because typically basketball Sunday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. couldn't get enough people because the Patriots were playing. We had enough people, and then people backed out last minute. Like literally had my ankle brace on, putting my socks and shoes on to step out the door and leave. That's how close to the deadline we were. And of course, the Patriots end up winning a really good game. And now everyone's super happy about the Patriots again.
It was a great game. It was sick. Drake May looked great. Defense was great. Stephon Diggs was awesome. Ramondre Stevenson scored 2 touchdowns, but still fumbled on the first play of the game. So some things never change, but it is what it is. It was a good game, though. It was very fun. Rat list. I have a driving rat list, and I'm pulling out Google Earth to explain. It made me so
been a
mad.
while.
I've been angry driving a lot lately, but I'll explain this one. So
okay,
this is Southie, right? And I need to use the screen to show the intersection. So this is the intersection. I was coming from here, and I was going over here. So for those listening at home, it's technically a 4-way intersection, but 2 of the ways kind of merge. So it just turns into a 3-way intersection effectively. And so I had to go across and to the left, but these people are directly turning left. And so by the time I'm effectively going straight. So I believe I should have the right of way here. Going this way has the right of way over turning directly left. So I'm going here, right? And your light turns green, I go. And the girl driving from here going left goes to the point where I can't get through anymore, so she has to go. And then she starts texting on her phone in the middle of the intersection and like crawling through. And I'm like, not only did you go and it wasn't your fucking turn, but you also have the audacity to text and drive in the middle of the fucking intersection when there's clearly cars waiting to go. That was the most mad I've been behind the wheel in a long time. That really fucking pissed me off.
Did she react to your beep? Did she get mad at you back? I feel like people love to do that.
I don't know. I hope she did. I fucking wish she would have tried it. I would have walked over to the police station and fucking ratted her out on purpose. That made me so fucking mad. I would have thrown her phone into the sidewalk. It pissed me off.
Throwing her phone into the sidewalk is absolutely crazy.
It made me really fucking mad. I was so angry. But anyways.
To build on the last one, Rat List is Bill Belichick. I don't know if you saw this today, but he had prohibited the University of North Carolina from posting any positive Drake May stuff on social media after they beat the Bills on Sunday night, just out of like spite with the Patriots or whatever weird thing they have going on there with Belichick. And to that, I would reply, it feels like Bill Belichick.
They posted it anyways.
Oh, they did post anyways. Okay.
They did eventually post Drake May, yes.
I feel like Bill Belichick shouldn't have that amount of pull at North Carolina right now. I think they're
he has all the pull.
4. They are terrible. Like they are atrociously bad. They just lost to Clemson, who Clemson, not only they lose to Clemson, they got like boat raced by Clemson, and Clemson has been bad this year. They're still Clemson. They still have all the players they were supposed to have this year, and maybe they figured something out against North Carolina. But Dabo and the boys just absolutely railroaded them. Bad timing for Belichick to be a diva.
I mean, shit, his son's gonna be the next head coach because of how much pull he had. Like that's where we're at. Maybe he'll do better than his dad.
Like he's just straight out of Schitt's Creek.
I don't know what else I got. I think that's it. The driving rat list really took up most of my brain. I can't lie to you.
Rat list. Really I have one more football-related rat list, and I'll do another rat list. Rat list is Michigan State. Michigan State backdoor covered Nebraska on Saturday. We had 12.5. I believe they ended up they covered. Michigan State covered. And the way that they covered is their backup QB came in and threw 3 passes for like 70 yards on a last-minute drive for absolutely nothing. And we lost our bet. It was terrible. And then bonus ratless LeBron, because he's doing some ad that is the decision. Or maybe he's
Maybe it's not an ad, because I saw someone pull up like last time he did an ad, he wrote #ad in the teaser tweet, and he didn't do that for this one. But then again, it is Amazon Prime Day, and
that's what Harrison said.
So it's
if
probably
there was a
just
time for him to
that.
be like, I'm gonna retire, this would be in the window.
It would be around now for sure.
I stand by it. When he retires, we're gonna know. We're knowing it's happening for at least
He's gonna do a
year.
And listen, I know you don't like
2.
it. I know you don't like it. If anybody in the history of basketball deserved a retirement tour, sure. Yeah, go for it, brother. Like, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not saying deserving, not deserving. I'm just saying anyone act like, I hate when people are like they get eliminated from the playoffs and he like is like, maybe I'm gonna retire. Nobody wants the attention of a retirement tour more than him.
No, definitely. He'll definitely get his tour. It will happen.
Like, remember when they got swept by the Nuggets and he was like, I don't know. Maybe I won't be back.
Who knows, man? Maybe he won't. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe we just didn't know. Maybe he actually retired already.
No, not that fortunate.
That's all I got. You got anything?
No, I don't have anything else.
All right. In that case, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all the same to get out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment. We are every single day. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps morning after each game. And other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. Jack and I are on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there. So if you just want those, go ahead, follow. They'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Tell us if you remember any contract year guys that did really good and then fucked off. I feel like Tobias Harris actually is one of them. But hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jack's1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe.